I checked my email at midnight, and just like that, I was unemployed. No warning, no call, just a cold, robotic termination message. The next morning, I couldn't log in. My credentials? Erased. My supervisor? Snarky and smug. That's when I realized if they wanted to treat me like disposable trash, they were about to find out just how expensive that mistake would be. If you've ever been overworked, underappreciated, or just straight up disrespected by an employer, you're gonna love what happens next. Hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll hear today. Let me rewind a bit. I was working a 1099 contract job, side gig, flexible hours, and it brought in an extra $3,000 a month. It wasn't my main job, but I still took it seriously. I turned in every task on time. I attended meetings even when I didn't have to. One client even sent glowing feedback about my performance. I was doing great, or so I thought. But then, something changed. My manager started micromanaging me. I'd get emails asking why I hadn't responded within 30 minutes. Then came the mandatory hourly email checks. Yes, hourly for a contractor. They even tried assigning me set working hours, as if I was on salary. I had to report every time I was out of office, even for a doctor's visit. It felt wrong, because it was wrong. See, as a 1099 contractor, none of this was supposed to be required. The whole point of a contractor agreement is the flexibility. I wasn't an employee, no benefits, no security, no protections. And yet they were treating me like one, just without the decency of actually calling me one. I pushed back. I wrote to them respectfully and reminded them, as a 1099 contractor, I'm not obligated to these rules. You're imposing employee-level control without offering employee-level protections. They didn't care. They ignored my emails, kept tightening the screws. It felt like they were trying to push me out or push me into submission. Then it happened. It was a Tuesday night. I just wrapped up dinner, checked my inbox like usual, and there it was. A termination email. No subject line, no explanation, just, your contract has been concluded, effective immediately. At midnight. No phone call, no debrief, no dignity. The next morning, I woke up and tried to log into the system. Access denied. I checked my company email. Locked out. I texted my supervisor. They replied cold and sarcastic. Maybe check your personal email, if you even do that. That was it. After everything I'd given, the loyalty, the time, the silence, they treated me like I was nothing, like I didn't matter. And you know what? That was the moment I stopped feeling bad for them. That was the moment the guilt left and the fire started. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept replaying it all. The excessive demands, the constant micromanagement, the gaslighting. And then something clicked. If they were controlling my schedule, if they were monitoring my time, if they were dictating my availability, that's not contract work, that's employment. Which means they weren't just jerks, they were breaking the law. So I started digging. The IRS website has a whole checklist about what qualifies as 1099 versus W-2. And let me tell you, I didn't meet any of the 1099 requirements. I had a fixed schedule. I used their equipment. They monitored my hours. I worked directly under supervisors. I wasn't running my own business. It was theirs, without the rights. Why would they do this? Simple. Money. By misclassifying me as a 1099, they didn't have to pay payroll taxes. No Social Security, no Medicare, no unemployment insurance, and no benefits for me. I wasn't the exception either. I knew others in the same boat. So I filled out the IRS misclassification report, line by line. Form SS-8 if you're curious. Then I submitted a claim to my state's Department of Labor, not just for me, but potentially dozens of others. And I didn't stop there. I bookmarked the IRS hotline. The next morning, I called and gave them every detail: names, documents, email trails, everything. This wasn't revenge out of spite. This was about justice, about stopping them from screwing over more people who didn't know their rights. It's been a few weeks since then. I haven't heard much officially. IRS investigations take time, but I have heard whispers from ex-coworkers. Auditors reached out. Some managers have gone quiet. HR is in panic mode. One team lead even deleted their LinkedIn overnight. You see, once the IRS gets involved in worker misclassification, it's not a slap on the wrist. It's thousands in fines per employee, back taxes, penalties, possible legal action. And those managers who dismissed me like I was trash, they're now answering questions under oath. The company might survive, maybe, but they're gonna bleed. All because they thought I'd go quietly. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I still don't. But we're in a world where companies chew people up and spit them out, where workers are told to be grateful just for a paycheck, even while being exploited. That night, I realized something. If we don't stand up, if we don't push back, they'll just keep doing it. They don't fear the silent ones. They fear the informed ones. And now, they're finally afraid. If this story gave you chills, or if it reminded you of someone you know who's been used by their employer, smash that like button and drop a comment below. What would you have done in my shoes? And if you want more real stories where karma hits hard, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because next time, it might just be your story I'm telling.